I try to avoid cop watching sober. If I could ingest any kind of chemicals, not usually, just mostly alcohol.
Yeah.
Previously it was other things, but at least for this year, I'm not on narcotics.
He is.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Oh, what are you doing, officer?
Ow! 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 Ow!
What are you doing, officer? Why is he being arrested?
I had a stroke about 3 to 4 days ago. So anyways, some of these homosexuals. Let me suck in my dick before this is over. They fucking hit me hard on my channel.
I have noticed that I used to get like 45 of his fucking weirdo group to watch everything I do. Now it's down to like 10 or 11. So yeah, he's definitely taking a hit. We should look at this here, the latest comments. But before that, views are going down as well. So, and that's just 14 hours into his stream. Hello, Vixter. Happy Purple Hearts to you too. I don't have a Purple Heart.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, in everything.
So yeah, he's hurting a little bit. People are hopefully waking up to his bullshit, but I think he just still appeals to a bunch of low IQ people that are just bored and lazy. So, as you know, he's claiming that he had a stroke. He's claiming that he had needed donations to help this homeless guy get a battery. It's one lie after another. But let me read this to you. I know it's long and it's exhausting. But, the guy's a grifter. So Tom Ziva writes here, please read and consider helping me. Donate. I'm begging. Panhandler. Thank you. Links at the end of this video. Okay. My good friend and landlord had a fall that led to a brain bleed and the end of his life. Wait, I thought he was murdered by ICE. That was the clickbaity title. Man dies at ICE facility. Okay, so now it's a brain bleed and end of his life. This is the guy that brought you out for 90 days? No, it's the guy that brought you out, that you stayed at his house trying to last as long as you can in Vegas, trying to make things worse for transparency in Las Vegas. Tom says here, his family is grieving, and as part of that process, I was told to leave in the middle of the night without notice. Wow. How well did you know him? You didn't know his last name, but you had to leave in the middle of the night? No problem, he says. I understand they are going through a lot and don't need a stranger. Me. I thought you... Okay. All right. You barely knew the guy. Coming and going into their house at this difficult time. So I hit the street with only my jacket and the clothes on my back. Wow, way to go, hero. I thought you had a job. I thought this was your job. Your job's only paying you like what, $12 a video like KFAR? I intended to catch a bus to LA, but instead stayed on the street for 2 nights. Well, why would you do that? You were so close to being a mole person. I thought you were going to show the mole people. I thought you were going to break down. You were going to show everything bad about Vegas. So you stayed on the street for 2 nights. Okay, this is where he doesn't even realize he's trying to spin doctor all of his last few videos and me correcting him over and over again. I was working on a video related to a homeless man you might remember. Well, yes, I do actually remember that. You begged and got a whole bunch of donations and never gave a fucking penny to that guy. You even admit to it here. That was in need of batteries for an electric wheelchair. So you were on the street for 2 nights and you were working on a video. So you have electricity to work on a video with a laptop or some sort of editing device, maybe your phone, I don't know. But you're working on this documentary, and you were working on a documentary before that, and a documentary before that. Okay, I just, the lies just get so twisted. I think that's why your views are down. I was getting into details of how Will came to be homeless and living on the street. So wait, you were living on the street and you had power to edit. He had a stroke 6 years ago and lost movement in his right limbs. Anyways, coincidence, I told Brent I was going to the store for food and would be back in about 30 minutes. So you're editing a video while sleeping on the street when you said you just left with only a jacket and the clothes on your back. So he says here, I never came back. On a return trip from the store, I had a stroke. Bullshit. Myself. I was taken to Spring Valley Hospital in an ambulance the afternoon of 1/17/26. I was fortunate to be given a blood thinner injection that cleared the clot in my brain almost immediately. Wow, it's a miracle. It's a fucking miracle. So I was only in the ICU for 2 days, but had made a complete recovery the very first day. Okay. Another lie. You could look this up. AI, what is the average stay of somebody who's had even a minor stroke? 5 to 7 days. John Hopkins medicine, 5 to 7 days. They don't let you out in 2 days. It's not, then it wasn't a stroke. It was something else. So you have electricity to edit videos while you're sleeping on the street, but you don't have anywhere to plug your CPAP machine in. This guy's just full of fucking lies, all this shit. Like, oh my God. So yeah, another lie. It's just, oh God. People who fallen for this shit are dumbasses, low IQ people that just don't want to think for themselves. Whatever you say, here's $100. When it's clear he has a drug problem and everybody that associates with him doesn't really want anything to do with him anymore. Maybe it's tough love. From what I understand, he's back in Hawthorne at Jody's house. So, I mean, it's just, people are waking up. It gave you a blood thinner and you had a miraculous recovery. Somebody looked that up. I was only in the ICU for 2 days, but had made a complete recovery the first day. It's a miracle. I was released 1/20/26, so you were in there for 3 days. Bullshit. And stayed with Prince. Oh, Prince Vegetable. Oh, with the fake AI girlfriend. That shit's hilarious. For several days to make sure I didn't do anything stupid. You not doing anything stupid? 22 hours ago, you wrote this out. Like voluntary sleep on the street in the cold and have a stroke again. Oh, that was edited. Yeah, you sleeping on the street. Well, you said this was your job. You said you were going to be here for 90 days and you're still lingering around. You'd rather sleep on the street and become a mole person. It's pretty fucking cold outside. So he had a stroke again. So he had several strokes, he added, and only spent 3 days in the hospital. I need a CPAP when I sleep. So trying to sleep on those, I can't even, this English commas, fucking, oh shit. You didn't never graduate high school, it shows. I need a CPAP when I sleep, so trying to sleep on the street without electricity was never going to work. But you had electricity to edit this documentary you talked about. So I had to leave my belongings behind and get on the Greyhound bus and get a safe roof over my head where I can use my CPAP machine each night and hopefully not have any more trips to the emergency room for a minute. So I guess Las Vegas taxpayers foot the bill for that. Anyway, that is my hard life story. Oh, it's your life story. Okay, 2013. And the truth is, I'm still very fortunate and lucky to be alive after decades of living recklessly and always putting myself last. Okay, sympathy. Maybe you see where I'm headed with this story. Send money. Consider making a donation. What a fucking grifter. It doesn't get any more grifter than that. All right? Holy shit. Give me money. Thought this was your job, hero. I am struggling financially. Well, no shit. You probably should have left Vegas 27 days ago. While that is nothing new for me, what is new is I'm asking for help. No, it's not new. It's always a grift. It's always been a grift. Your friend Malcolm, you'd grift off of him, give him a rotisserie chicken and all the drugs he wanted, and then fucking keep all the rest of the money for yourself. Yeah, it's always been a grift. It's nothing. It's not new. You're right. What is new is I'm asking for help, please. So this video didn't do too well. 566 views over an hour, 24 hours. Doesn't make any sense for a guy that has 145,000 fake subscribers. You probably have 45,000. I'll give you that. But it's weird how you jumped up 1,000 or 100,000 in one day. So our loyal F. Serrano comes into the chat. What does he say here? Oh, let's sort this first, because yeah, YouTube's weird with their comments. F. Serrano, I always get blamed for this. The reason why your girlfriend was let go is because of the dollar amount she stole, you dumbass. The freaking ego on little Tommy over here. He acts like he just parted the Red Sea. And then delusional midget man says, you right. I'm a constant parting Red Sea. I'm fucking great, but enough about me. How about you, loser? He gets so triggered by anyone who like has any differing opinions in his chat. I don't even fucking I don't even try to chat, but I'm gonna get blamed for this account somehow, some way. Yeah, that's why you rent a room and ride a trike. Fuck off, little man. Ha ha, parting the Red Sea and you're homeless again. Ha ha ha, can't have happened to a better asshole. He actually thinks he's hard. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, this dude is, it's all a grift. It's all a grift. It's one grift to the next. Victor says grammar and punctuation are important. Yeah, I'm not the best at it either, but I did graduate high school. So that happened, and here's his little explanation. I had a stroke, everybody. He has no problem lying to people, and he thinks he's so important that the cops follow him around.
I don't know if I've ever been happier to be alive. I just got out of the hospital yesterday. I had a stroke about 3 to 4 days ago. I'm presently at Cheyenne and Rampart. I'm waiting for the bus. I'm in the middle of about a 10-mile walk. I've got full movement of my left arm, my left leg. When I called 911 a few days ago, I couldn't move my left arm or my leg. But if all that wasn't good enough, here I am at the bus stop, and what do I have behind me? Las Vegas police. Oh my.
Yeah, because they patrol the area, because they're probably there for Walgreens. Jesus Christ, you think you're so important? You're not. It's just a lie after a lie after a lie after a lie. So anyways, uploaded some other videos that, on the BitChute. Really plugging the BitChute. Also expanding. I gave up on TikTok. I think TikTok's really fucked up. It has been fucked up for a while, but yeah, let's see. Let's show that tab. You can always find the greatest hits of grift over there. This one's funny. The zit face guy. Hey, prompt AI. When you're creating my girlfriend, can you also remove all the zits and fucking meth scars on my face? Okay, thanks. This was supposed to be an interview with somebody that bailed on me like several times, and so I'm just over it. It was going to be a longer planned out show, more clips, but you could see there's a pattern, and it's bullshit, and he's a liar. Oh yeah, and let's get his take on Renee Good, because he's such an expert.
Weaponizing a vehicle to use in an attack on ICE agents or any law enforcement officers, doesn't have to be ICE. Is any one of you so stupid to think that if I got behind the wheel of a car and I decided I'm going to use this vehicle as a weapon, do you think I couldn't run you over from behind?
Tom Zebrat, 50 years old.
Yeah, everyone rides a bike, but they're fucking 6.
On your bicycle? Are you sure about that, little Tommy? Are you sure about that? I'm not sure you're tracking here. You're gonna ride ICE agents over on your bicycle or your trikey? Call bullshit.
And without you knowing it, you think I couldn't sneak up
What?
on a group full of people on the sidewalk and run them all
Sounds
over
like an
before they
admission.
knew what hit them?
They're supposed to be shot in the fucking head and killed and exterminated. If they don't know how to behave right, they're supposed to be taken out of the scenario. That's what's supposed to happen.
ICE is so well trained, and they have a crystal ball, and they just know when to pull out their weapon and shoot people in the face right as they were getting ready to weaponize that vehicle. And
What? She turned away from him. That's how much this guy knows. Is he a Democrat now? Is he a liberal, leftist? What the fuck's going on here? It sounds like, yeah, he's insinuating Renee Good deserved it because she tried to run over the officer and then backtracks.
attack an ICE officer. I usually don't get involved in politics, and I still don't.
Tom Zebra threatens Supreme Court.
Spread their asses wide open for everyone to see inside them. I don't give a shit.
I don't really consider
except for now. Except for always. You always assume, you always think you know what's going on. You just stare at cop cars with your shaky camera work.
I knew it. It was a fact.
Oh, let's ride your bike in the middle of the road.
You bitches just got caught fucking harassing, beating somebody up, right?
And people like look at your documentaries and go, what? Get the fuck out of my house.
politics. It's law enforcement 101. This has been established longer than any of you have even been alive, okay? It's never been acceptable.
His head is so huge. He's so important. You started your YouTube page in 2013. That's just over a decade. Stop lying.
To shoot the driver of a vehicle and claim it's self-defense. It's just not. If a vehicle's about to run you over, shooting the driver does nothing to stop it. However, it does.
That may be the only thing I've ever agreed with you on. Yeah, it's so you're flip-flopping on your position on this, and it's typical. I'll go wherever my donators go. It's just fucking annoying.
everything to put everyone in the vicinity in danger. Every time there's one of these ICE stories claiming they had to shoot into a vehicle because the driver weaponized the vehicle, it's false on its face. This argument isn't even a real argument. It's no longer about the fact that ICE is shooting innocent people. It's about one side of the argument.
Oh, this is 3 days after a supposed stroke, by the way. 3 days after a supposed stroke. I don't know who Pretty Ricky is. You'll have to explain, Freeman. I have no idea. I think I might know who you're talking about.
I seen that little comment he made. He said, Ricky and Zebra just recently broke up. That motherfucker was never my girlfriend. What the fuck? Break
Triggered.
up with that fool? I just don't fuck with his fake ass no more.
Argument and the other. You just want to be right. You don't care who dies. It doesn't even matter what we're discussing anymore.
The day that I break them back is going to be the day that they never fucking forget. And I could think of at least 25, 30 cops. I would line them right here in a row, and I would shoot every single one of them in the fucking head and be done with all those 25, 30 cops. Be done with them. You just want to be right. And I say that through every administration, but I never cease to be amazed. We find a bigger...
Do you? You were awfully quiet during the Biden administration. Oh, that's right. You were busy beating cancer and strokes and living homeless and begging and doing drugs.
Idiot to elect than the time before. Since before you were shooting yellow, it was a well-known fact. Shooting into moving vehicles does nothing to protect anybody. It does everything to put everybody in danger. And now that you've been involved in this argument for 3 weeks, you think you're an expert?
Yes.
I've been documenting unlawful shootings of motorists for decades.
Really? Where's the footage? Where have you captured that? Where have you been on the news for anything other than the guy who flew drones over a police department? Yeah, that's somebody you want to associate with. That's a real winner. Flying drones over the fucking police station. The guy who threatened to kill 25, 35 cops. The guy who praises Eric Brandt like he's some kind of fucking hero. He's sitting in prison right now. Thankfully.
Just because it's your political candidate that's making the argument doesn't change the conclusion. And just because you support Donald Trump doesn't make it okay to shoot into moving vehicles. Why would any of you support taking the rights from all of us, from your fellow Americans, from your kids, from the future generations?
He's so smart.
You don't get to decide who gets rights and who doesn't. Either you support all of our rights or you don't support rights at all. Some of these homosexuals. You want to call...
Well, since this video, we've also learned of a Second Amendment person being shot by ICE. So if you can't have a gun at a protest like your big boy, Kyle Rittenhouse, or as I like to call him, Kyle Shittenhouse, ask your mommy to drive you to the Ukraine. You don't have Second Amendment rights. This guy thinks he's a genius, and he's just, it's like, it doesn't make, most of this doesn't even make any sense. It's just regurgitated talking points he heard from his fucking shit-lib friends.
Me anti-American? Look in the mirror, motherfucker. You either agree with me, you're naive, or you're a fucking liar. Shooting into vehicles is never okay. Not even when Trump says it's okay. If you want to have a good laugh, take a look at every one of these vehicles that supposedly was weaponized. Besides the bullet holes through the windshield, there's not a scratch on these cars until after the driver's dead and it crashes into a stationary object. You'd think if I'm weaponizing my...
Wow, what a genius observer you are. Yeah, very optimistic loser. I'm kind of done with that. I don't give a fuck what you think about that situation. You're not a genius. You have a Napoleon complex. You're a grifter. You're a fucking liar. Everything about you sucks. Now you're homeless, and now you're begging YouTube to bail you out, to get you out of a situation you put yourself in. It's hard to have sympathy for this guy because I know it's all a lie. I'm sure his health is bad. I'm sure he has CPAP, can't breathe at night. Sucks to be you, right? Probably should get that shit taken care of. But yeah, I'm fucking done with that. I'm fucking done with that. Fucking hate this app. I don't know why I use it anymore. I still continue to use it because it's easy to do. I can edit this down later, cut out the fat. I hate doing lives. That's why I didn't want to do this. I did have a guest that was going to come on and bailed on me 4 times, and I said, fuck it. One of Zebra, it was going to explain why everybody's mad at Zebra, but I already know why. It's because he shits on all the people he's ever met. Shit on the guy that invited him out to Vegas. Shit on the guy for dying. It's his fault for dying, so I had to sleep on the street for 2 weeks or 2 days. And it sent me to the hospital. Meanwhile, I'm not giving any money to the guy that needed the battery that I asked everybody to donate hundreds of dollars to. You'll never hear about that again. So F. Serrano, who I'm going to get blamed for being, because he does sound like some of the shit I would say. But I think it's funny to put him on blast because he's like literally the only negative comment that Tom Zebra gets, or any criticizing. And I just want to end on this too, because this is why I have a problem with you. It amazes me what an arrogant D-bag, I think that stands for douchebag, you are, little man. Your level of self-importance is astounding. Boom. How's that for a clickbait title? Your level of self-importance is astounding. It is astounding. But you don't have a vehicle, Tommy. You have a trike, freaking loser. Yeah. So that's what I had. Was it a different Ricky, or was it the Ricky? The Ricky I've been ignoring. Ricky has a problem with Zebra too. I could tell something went wrong between the two of them. I don't know exactly, but it's just weird that, it's always a grift that 3 days after having a stroke, you're so clear-minded and so able to assess the highly complex issue of ICE agents in Minnesota. You're such an expert. You just jumped on to the next thing that was a grift. Looks like that ended up costing you. The last video we covered showed, you're begging for money from sitting in a Denny's, and an undisclosed Denny's on the strip. You know how many Denny's there are on the strip? Let it be known, motherfucker. And you say, oh, I'm over at this intersection. Hang out there for a little while, you fucking coward. Yeah, it just pisses me off, man. I'm sorry for not having the guest up. It's cowardly shit. They're threatening that person, and it's probably not a good idea anyways. But don't fall for it. I can't stand liars, man. I can't stand liars. Liars like Kfar. Dude doesn't even know what the fuck a sovereign citizen is. He doesn't even know. Because he's an idiot. They're all idiots. This whole internet, YouTube experiment, just full of idiots. I'm exhausted. To be honest, I've been exhausted. This past week it's one of those times where you're like, you got to stay off the internet, where there's all these people like making excuses for, oh, well, he fought the cops, and oh, she tried to run him over, and all these dumbass motherfuckers. Grifters, everybody trying to get a view. I did it. I fell into it. But I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for donations. I do this for free.